Alright guys, so let's move on to this part. The back seems to be having a little edge on the side, so let's see what we can do about it. Maybe we can go grab this guy and mask it. And then we can smooth the mask. And then Control I to invert it so we can inflate out the puffiness of this part. Alright, clear the mask. Yeah, it seems like a puffy part. And then I really wanted to enhance the crease here, so I'm using stem standard to push it in just a little bit more. Yeah, if you can use lazy mouse, if you have a shaky hand, you can use lazy mouse. If you have this weird thing here, this is because you have more target. Turn that off. Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to enhance that a little bit. As you can see, this is not gonna be really clean because it's like handmade. One thing you don't have to worry about is make it really clean, because if you pick up a show and really look at it, you'll be amazed at how crappy it is. If you look into detail, it's not very clean in real life anyways. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and do this little thing here, I guess. We can have a little thing popping out right here, like this. If we can go use find a alpha for that. I think there's a folding brush here that does similar things, but it's really crappy if you look at there. Maybe we can lower down the focal shift. Doesn't really do that either. Strength maybe. Whoa. What it does is basically trying to create a shading, not shading, just a shape that is going kind of like in this way to fake that kind of like effect, so we can have something like this here just to fake that. Yeah, I guess it's close to that, but it's too big. Make the intensity bigger and smaller brush, but it's not a very clean brush in my opinion. Yeah, not very good. Another way we can do is we can go to shift and isolate this. We can use mask lasso or curve to mask out where it started. Right. And then we can, for this particular part, let's store more target, and we can use BST standard brush, blur this out a little bit, so we can use standard brush to basically draw that out ourselves. On this particular edge, and then we can smooth it out, of course. And then because we have more target, we can move this back if you wanted to, if you have some artifact you don't like to see. And we can use BDS stem standard, go to lazy mouse, make the radius bigger, and we can cut in a little bit here. Alright, so now we have a little detail like that. Doesn't really look like that really, so I'm not quite happy with it. But as you can see, this is not a very clean way of doing stuff. Not, you know, not in my opinion, but I guess some people can do this. And yeah. And I guess people are also growing out in different, their hand are, some people are really stable, some people are not, so you have to be really careful. For medium people, For normal people, the majority of the people, it's really hard to control. Right? A normal guy like me would have trouble really make it smooth, but yeah. So I'm gonna go BMO, move target, and just draw on it a little bit to, push it back to the original shape. It's like a blend shape going back, so that we can control exactly how strong it is. If you wanted to push it back, right? Just have a little line there, because you have stitching on it afterwards. So I'm going to use the stitch brush and draw some stitch around it. Just to give it a little bit more detail. BDS again, enhance this edge just a little bit more. But again, right, these things are not as clean as you thought they are on a real show either way. So we have this now, and what else? I guess there's something on the back. I can't really tell, but I assume those are folds or stuff like that. So maybe I can go ahead and just use masking again on this part. Mask everything else. Sorry if I just rambling around different random things. I just wanted to maybe give this middle part a little bit more puffiness. So masking and blur mask or control clip to blur it in. Right. If it's hard to blur, we can go lower subdivision level and blur it. Go back to high subdivision level. And now you can see it's a really blur alpha. You can invert it and then do it inflate, right, to really puff this out. And then we can go ahead and draw some folding on it. Saving. Now for how to sculpt folding, it's basically, you just copy, I guess, and you can find some cool articles about how cloth folding should be like. To me, there are two variations. One is this line kind of way, and you just need to find out the direction, size, and you just have variations like it's stronger in the middle and blurred to the two ends of this line, right? And you avoid repetitions. So something are bigger, some of those are longer, kind of things. Some of those are stronger, so that it looks more natural. So that's one of the variations. Another variation could be like Y shape folding, so that the fold changes to a Y shape. Like here, maybe I can do one. So you have one branch, you have another one. So that forms a Y shape, like this. Right. And you also have this X shape, which you can also think of that X shape as, two Y shape meet each other in the back, kind of thing. Or you can think of everything as X shape, and some of the Y shape is just the other part is too small or not visible, kind of thing. But, depending on how you wanted to categorize or understand those things. maybe I can have some more on the edge to create those really small, tiny little winkle. That would be cool, right? To detail it. Every time when I start doing this, I feel really bored because that's just not the way I like to think about stuff. I want to have these things like one click or two click and it's done, and I understand the parameters so I can make it whatever I want. But when it comes to repetitively do those, it gets boring really quick. But it's not that bad. Just listen to some music you like to listen, or things like that, because those things, I mean, they do require some sort of like thinking, but mostly you just try to make variations, not getting repetitive stuff. But still, I think you can spend some time listening to music to go through this boring stuff. Anyway, so some more smoothing over here. You notice that I didn't get rid of the masking because I don't want it to affect other parts, right? So that's why I still keep that alpha. It's really useful. Sorry, yeah, the mask. So yeah, okay, variation, right? So you have one more there, you have two more really close here, and you have someone maybe a little bit far away, you have another one that is really far away, right? So that they're not the same kind of like position, not really repeating a lot. Okay, right, so we have some detail added to this part. You can even push it in a little bit more. Right, it doesn't have to be all really strong and visible. Blend in, right, that's cool. Alright, so that's this little part of the garment. As you can see, this entire piece, go get my polygroup back. It's just one piece of geometry. We're trying to add all those details. Again, this is not going to be super easy to do. It's not going to be super clean, but you just have to live with it on some level. Try to be as clean as possible, I guess. Yeah. Alright, so we have this now. In the next one, maybe we can move on to do some cool stuff on this guy and this guy, and then we fill in what's happening there and here and there. It's now basically repetitive different techniques, and sometimes I don't know which technique or what technique I'm going to use for these parts. It's mostly like trial and fail and try something different again kind of thing. So it's not always like one thing that you learn is going to work on all different situations. You have to try and think about what you need, and then be really careful when you're operating, and try to use the best tool that you have. Alright, so let's move on to the next one in the next tutorial.